Hi everyone, we're back. It's an Abstract Tiger. I'm Chris.
I'm Drew.
And I'm excited because this is the finale of Kenobi. Yes. I've been chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the beat. Chomping.
Chomping at the bit.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for this day to come.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Yes.
There's a lot to wrap up.
Yeah, there is. Last week we had another continuation, I guess, of a flashback when Reva was a youngling.
Yep.
And basically, we actually saw Anakin cutting down younglings this time. It didn't just cut away. We saw the things actually. Yeah, that was terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Reva was promoted to Grand Inquisitor.
For all of about 5 minutes.
Basically.
Obi-Wan played her, basically.
Yep. Like a fiddle. Haja Ostri is back.
Yes.
Makes me very happy.
We had a very one-sided attempt at an assassination.
Yeah.
Of Vader, which did not go very well at all for Reva.
Mm-mm.
It was just like, he's not even really trying. It's just like, this is my pre-workout.
Yeah. He didn't even ignite his own lightsaber.
And to add insult to injury, he took hers, split it in half, and gave her one half.
Yep.
And then proceeded to knock both of them down and then take both halves again.
Then
stabbed
her, deactivated him, and then the Grand Inquisitor.
The real Grand Inquisitor came back and give me my pen back.
Yeah, taunted her.
Yes.
That was very intriguing.
And we got a very Force Unleash-esque version of Vader pulling a ship down and causing it to crash.
It was
even
nice.
though, yes, it was very impressive, but it was the wrong one. And then, let's see. Lola's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yep.
Leia fixed Lola.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. They're on the ship. The hyperdrive is down.
Yep.
They're being chased by Vader and company. Reva found the broken holo communicator.
Yep.
And got a very garbled and broken up message about Owen Lars. And then Bail Organa going to Tatooine.
Yeah. It says the children, Tatooine, Owen, help with the boy.
Help with the boy. And
yeah.
Yes.
And
so, yeah. That's where we left off. Oh, and Tala and Ned B sacrificed themselves.
Yeah.
And yet again, Obi-Wan loses somebody he cares about.
One more thing. Apparently some merchandise has come out, Funko Pops.
Merch.
Yeah, and it's a 5-piece Funko Pop with all the characters, like the main characters from Obi-Wan. Apparently, it is not Rogan.
No, it's Rokan.
Rokan. Yeah. So, I have that in my notes, which is O'Shea Jackson Jr., if you're not familiar with the name.
Ice Cube's son.
Yep. The one that was like, get the girl a ladder.
Yes. Let us move on, I shall say. Basically, into this episode. I am
very
see
excited
how this wraps up.
Agreed.
All right.
Something you want to say?
Yes?
I have something to say.
Wait your turn.
No.
You have what's left when I'm done.
I'm looking for a farmer named Owen.
At once, Lord Vader.
Oh, the music. This is like... like seeing the Millennium Falcon being chased all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
our minds off of it.
Maybe I should borrow her too.
What do you need, kid?
We need a new belt for the speeder.
Certain somebody broke the last one.
Your uncle's a patient man.
I am not that patient.
There's something you need to know.
Roken needs more time to fix the ship. This will give him that time. You've spent 10 years protecting the Jedi. This is my chance to return that favor.
You must promise me that you'll get her home, Haja, as soon as I'm in the clear.
You have my word. Although I know the word of a liar and a fake Jedi may not mean much to you.
A liar and a fake Jedi. Hey, there's Baru.
Mm-hmm.
Go on in. You need to leave, bro. We need to take Luke and hide somewhere.
Where? In the desert? I'm not leaving my home. At least here we have a chance.
Stay. We need help.
I'm not putting anyone else in danger, Owen. We're enough. You and me.
Baru, what are you doing?
We both knew this day might come.
Oh! Cycler rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Cycler shotgun. All right.
Guess we got position now.
I have something for you. Roken found it before we got out. She would have wanted you to have it.
Aw.
It's empty.
Well, I wasn't going to give you a blaster layer. You're 10 years old.
You're 10 years old.
But you won't always be.
No. Right.
There are not many leaders left. People follow you. Don't stop.
Just get started.
We're tracking you an escape craft. There's one life form aboard.
That's him.
That's
My lord, we must continue our pursuit of the insurgents. Now is our chance to wipe out this network in its entirety. We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi.
He is not just any Jedi.
Facts.
Luke, I need you to listen to me. The Tuskens are on the hunt again. They're raiding farms along the waste. So stay in here. If anything goes wrong, you know what to do. You run.
I'm not afraid.
I know.
You will be. You will be. Oh, sorry.
Ooh, what planet is this? Or moon?
Don't you know? What you do is you go and make a campfire. Lola! Aww. Now you have to go back and give it to her.
Yep.
It's not running away this time.
No. That's a cool shot.
Yes, it is.
I want that poster.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Well, that's what he said.
Oh, yeah!
Oh.
Then you will die.
The years have not made him weak this time. Although there's not a lot of flipping.
Oh, that mirrored their
Yeah.
Oh, he changed his stance.
Yeah.
Reva gets taken out with a shotgun blast to the head.
That would be such a problem.
She wouldn't be coming back.
Well, I'm saying, like, she's a force wielder. Their spidey sense tingles.
It's a Reva sense. Reva tingle. Reva tingle.
Oh, she didn't deflect it! You were right! He just missed!
Yeah, he missed. Oh, okay. This has got the scene 38 reimagined all over it.
Yeah.
But the weakness still remains.
Ouch. Ah,
That was dirty.
You will always lose.
Darth Vader used Earthquake. It was super effective.
And now he has the high ground.
Yes.
Say it. Say it. I need the line.
Nope. I'm just gonna bury you and not say anything.
Did you truly think that you could defeat me? You have failed, Master.
Oh, calling him master. That's a
Yep.
painful terminology.
Whoa. Oh, that had to hurt.
Justice.
Oh, that's ouch. Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh,
Nice.
okay. Kenobi used rock throw. Jeez.
Oh. Oh.
Gee. Okay, that's brutal.
Jeez. He was using the hilt of his lightsaber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh man, that is not the first time that's gonna happen. Well, I say that's not the last time that's gonna happen. Ahsoka did the same thing. Well, something very similar.
Yeah, but with that, it was just an eye. I think this one took off like half the mask. Oh my goodness.
There he is.
Anakin. Anakin's gone. I am what remains.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
Oh,
The split between the voices.
yeah.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
I will destroy you.
Then my friend is truly dead. Goodbye. Darth.
Well,
Not the quite Kenobi.
not the quite the Sam Witwer's Darth Maul, but wow.
Luke.
The shuttle had a hyperdrive. Okay.
It would appear so. And that one works.
Yes. Though I would imagine it's probably way too small for the much bigger ship for it to, be effective. Oh, she's having now another crisis. She's become the thing she hates. She's bringing him back.
What in the world?
She's bringing him back. Reva is so broken right now.
I couldn't do it. I failed him. He killed them all and I couldn't do it.
You haven't failed them by showing mercy. You have given them peace. You have honored them.
Have I become him?
No, you have not.
You have chosen not to.
Who you become now.
It is up to you.
I thought she was going to fall on her own sword.
That's what I thought too. She was going to sacrifice herself, but... Oh, look at that.
Now you are free. We both are.
We will destroy everything in our path until he is found.
Oh.
You seem agitated, my friend.
He will not evade me again.
I wonder if your thoughts
This matter
are clear on this, Lord Vader.
Oh.
Perhaps your feelings for your old master have left you weakened. If your past cannot be overcome,
Kenobi means nothing. I serve only you, my master.
That is what I wanted to hear.
Finally, we hear the Imperial March.
Yes.
They saved it for the finale.
Oh, Alderaan.
Alderaan.
That.
Oh, it's actually her this time.
Yeah, she's not tricking anybody this time.
All right, let's go, young lady. We don't want to keep your... Is that a holster?
So who is it today? More cousins?
More cousins. Nope. somebody else.
Lola!
Not Ben.
Ready, young lady from her droid. What do you think I should do?
I think you should sleep.
Sleep.
I think you're right. Princess Leia Organa, you are wise, discerning, kind-hearted. These are qualities that came from your mother.
Uh-huh.
But you're
Oh, it's the
also
Leia theme.
passionate and fearless, forthright. And these are gifts from your father.
Oh.
Both were exceptional people who bore an exceptional daughter.
She put
Lola in the holster.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was a good cave. Bit drafty on occasion, on a good cave. Ben.
You want to meet him?
Aw. Oh.
He gets to give it to him directly.
Directly.
Okay.
Hello there.
Hello there. There's Beggar's Canyon. Wait.
What?
What? Is that?
No way. Oh, there's no way.
He's finally found
Master Qui-Gon.
Master Qui-Gon.
Well,
Oh, it's actually Liam Neeson.
Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. We just were not ready to see. Come on. We've got a ways to go.
Wow.
Yes. It figures right at the mouth of Beggar's Canyon.
Yeah. Because the pod races, right?
Other than that, yeah, it's where Anakin won the Bunta Eve Classic, and Luke talked about it a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The Beggar's Canyon is the... Yeah.
Nope. Okay.
That was...
Whoo-wee!
That was amazing.
Doggies.
That's a lot
That
to talk
is
about. How
a
long was that?
Finale.
Because we were talking about it need to be longer to solve everything, and it did a pretty good job. So Haja didn't die. Roken didn't die.
None of them.
Reva didn't die.
Reva didn't die, but she
probably gets
kinda
found by the Grand Inquisitor at some point.
Yeah, probably. Oops, I did not mean to do that.
Because now I'm worried about them doing like, okay, we're gonna make a Reva spin-off show, because that's what they've been doing. Oh, you like this character? We're gonna give them their own show.
48 minutes. That was right.
48 minutes, 21 seconds. Okay.
Basically, I'm just going to start where things got good. I mean, we had a little bit of exposition, a little bit of people worrying and stuff at the beginning because the hyperdrive is out. We don't have time to fix it. Vader's shooting at us.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
The Grand Inquisitor trying to talk Vader into not shooting. Following them.
Not following them because Obi-Wan went off and did his, distraction thing. In the fight, well, I said it in the reaction, they had to have seen the fix it in post.
Yeah.
Scene 38 reimagining.
Yeah.
If you have not seen that, you should go and watch that. They definitely took some inspiration, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
If not, then that's a big coincidence.
Yeah.
But man, the fight was. It had an element of intensity to it. Man, and probably the part where, I mean, probably the part that I really, other than the fight choreography, the lightsaber choreography itself, we saw some moves that, well, we saw in the last episode in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And we saw, and I think I made mention of it in the reaction, that Vader's helmet got cut again.
Yeah.
In real life timeline, not Star Wars timeline, the last time that happened, that we saw was in Rebels.
Yep.
And Ahsoka did that.
Yep.
And had a conversation with Anakin. And basically, he said the same... Okay. He said the same thing there as he did here. Anakin was weak. I destroyed him.
Yeah.
Those of you probably caught my goofy Pokemon references. Vader used Earthquake. It was super effective.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan used Rock Throw. That was just them showing off their Force abilities. Man. And that whole conversation.
Yeah, I'm writing down that quote because it's in my head.
And then
I didn't have time a minute ago.
The whole conversation between Vader, Anakin with this broken helmet, just realizing that he can't reach him.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to reach him. Which leads also to that line where when Luke and Vader were talking in Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan once thought as you did.
Yeah.
That's probably was what this was here.
Yeah.
Or at least some evidence of that. So
I like that Vader / Anakin absolved Obi-Wan of his guilt, because that's the reason why he's had a difficult
he thought he killed Anakin.
I am not your failure. The only one to blame for the death of Anakin Skywalker is me.
Exactly.
I was like, okay.
Okay.
And so that's why I think Qui-Gon said what he said at the end, was you just weren't ready to see it. Because he had to get past his own guilt and grief.
Yeah.
Like, that was... Because this whole, show has been, including, the first episode...
Especially the first episode.
Is just him dealing with his grief. I don't deserve personal attachments. I was trained not to have personal attachments, and because I developed...
I don't...
Well, okay, so, in juxtaposition, Anakin broke the Jedi rule about attachments by joining Padme.
Marrying Padme.
Well, yeah. Ben broke the rule on personal attachments because he became way too close with his Padawan. And then once they became equals, technically Master versus Knight, I'm in the process of listening to the audiobook Brotherhood. Really good. That juxtaposition, it's like, do I still have to call you Master? And he's like, only if you know what's good for you, or something like that.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's not because, yes, you are my master and I'm your Padawan. It's usually used in terms of a respect of your elders type of situation.
Right. But even at the end of the fight in Revenge of the Sith, it was like, you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Yeah. And it's like, I will destroy you. That emotional conflict carried through all the way to here.
Yes.
And Anakin was like, the years have made you weak, and your grief has made you weaker. I'm going to absolve you of your guilt, but that's not going to change the dynamic between us.
No. And he uses the term
it wasn't I forgive you
in more of a condescending way this time around, whenever he walked away the first time.
I'm really upset there wasn't a high ground reference. He was literally standing at the precipice of a cliff. I have the high ground. Poof.
I think it was just way too cheesy of a line to have thrown into something that heartfelt. I mean,
they made some cheesy.
And a lot of fans didn't like it. That's why. I have the high ground. And even Mythbusters, they did a test on that fact. It's not necessarily true.
I like MTV Movie Awards when that movie came out. Jimmy Fallon was the host, and he recreated that where he like essentially deep faked his face over Anakin's, and was like, "I have to warn you, I'm really good at backflips." Whoa, 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 straight into the lava. So that's old right there. I think that was the 2006 MTV Movie Awards.
But okay, after the second best part in the fight was near the end when basically Obi-Wan decided to attack the weak points, the respiration parts of Vader with the hilt of
the
his
control
saber,
panel.
Bam, 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 poof.
while holding his lightsaber hand with his other hand.
Yeah.
So like it was like bah, 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 just.
And then then it was like the whole and then
did you see
the
that
strike across the back?
I was gonna say the strike across the back.
Yeah,
you could still see the burn marks on his
the
cape.
Yes,
I was like, that was cool.
Yes,
that was really cool.
And then
I wish they would have had a little bit more room to move, if that makes any sense, because they were like walking between these pillars, and I'm like, I almost feel like this should have. So if Revenge of the Sith happens on Mustafar, lava planet, I almost feel like this should have happened on like a ice or something like that. No, just like the juxtaposition, like, but that art when it's the crescent moon and they're both facing off on each other. This lightsaber ignites, does this. This lightsaber ignites, and he comes in for the high strike, and you just see the moon between them. That would be a gorgeous painting.
And Obi-Wan adopting his Clone Wars, stance.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the fight, Anakin goes from single hand to dual hand.
Yeah.
And changes his stance. As somebody who is a little bit more, I guess into the realm of the fight choreography and stuff like that. I mean, that's interesting. He adopts more of a defensive stance in that.
I was trying to think of whose stance was he mimicking when he did that, because he did the left foot squared up with his shoulder, but the right foot wide, and he did it like this.
I think it was Qui-Gon.
I was thinking it was Qui-Gon.
That was a little bit more Qui-Gon-esque. But, I mean, Qui-Gon wasn't the only one to use that particular form. A lot of those who lived through to the end, closer to the end of the Clone Wars, they had to adapt their style a lot. Because a lot of them were still using, some of the older, I guess say older, a lot more finesse styles, which... it was a little bit more like one is what you're training, as a youngling, or whatever, and then from there you pretty much go into the whole finding your own, finding where your style fits, and and Dooku was thoroughly into style too, which was a really rare, which is why they lost at the beginning, in Return to the Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
It was something that, he really Dooku focused on, because it was a little bit more finesse, and it was something that not a lot of the other Jedi really delved into, because they were more into like, okay, we're gonna had the a little bit more quicker ended here type of things, or more defensive and whatnot. But by the time the end of the Clone Wars happens, we see that Anakin is able to just muscle through that with Form 5.
Yeah. See, I was thinking Anakin, for the most part in my memory, he's always been kind of a hip pocket. So like he goes zoom, and it just keeps it down here, and then he does these kinds of motion. Am I in the camera? Yeah, okay. This kind of motion. And then he pivots his body and jukes a lot. I'd never seen him take up this before, so I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and Well, they also had somebody probably a lot younger in the suit than David Prowse was, and a little.
No, I'm not even talking about Vader. I'm talking about Anakin himself.
Plus, we also had somebody who was actually able to probably move around in the suit and do the choreography a lot better.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll take some pages from the numerous amounts of fan films out there, but even still, having him change that stance, realizing the old Obi-Wan is back now. I have to do something a little different.
Yeah.
And then at that, we had a little tiny conversation with Emperor Palpatine, and he uses a variation of the line, "Perhaps your feelings are not clear on this matter, Lord Vader," or something of to that nature about Obi-Wan. In the Return of the Jedi, he referring to Luke.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but interspersed, I should say, amongst all that, we had Reva.
Yeah. I was really, really getting frustrated because they kept cutting away from the Vader-Ben fight to talk about Reva just chasing Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen around.
Through their house.
Yeah, so I was like, we couldn't wait 5 minutes for this. I want to see the fight. Obviously, Owen and Beru put up more of a fight than I thought, but that was because she was injured.
Yes, she was definitely
Owen
injured. And Owen
went to town on using that as her weakness. Like,
yes, definitely.
He exploited that.
Yes. As you said, dirty.
Yeah, I was like, that was just dirty. I know he's trying. I know, or she. I know she's trying to kill you, but that was dirty.
But even when you were saying it was dirty, it was when Vader took the rocks and swept William's feet from underneath him.
Well, that was dirty too.
That was dirty too, but man,
I don't care if you're a Sith user now. That does not give you the right to break the rules of engagement here.
Geneva Convention does not exist on Tatooine.
That wasn't Tatooine. That was some weird ice, or not ice, rock planet moon.
True,
something or other.
But even still, even with Reva, I was on Tatooine.
But, that just brings me back to Iron Man 2 when Jon Favreau's trying to teach Tony, or Happy's trying to teach Tony how to box, and he's like, "It's MMA, look it up," and he's like, "No, it's been around for a long time. It's called dirty boxing."
Dirty boxing. And then proceeds to get even further owned by a Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Happy, are you all right? while he's trying to do that, you should never turn away from your opponent. Anyways, but I like, and I mean, this I might be a little bit of maybe in a bit of a minority here. I don't care. I like the way that Reva realized she was becoming the thing that she hated whenever she went to try and, as she put it, do justice, I guess. But I'm glad that, it could have been so easy for the Larses to say something once she brought Luke back.
Yeah.
But instead they just scooped him
Owen
up.
shoots her in the face.
Well, yeah, but I think they saw something with that. But they just scooped Luke up and took him probably to bed.
Yeah, I know.
And then the little talk between her and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. I know I joked about it in the reaction, but I'm legitimately surprised because of. I mean, I know it's legends and things like that, but Obi-Wan did some stuff to keep Luke secret. And so I legitimately am surprised that he did not.
Well, yeah, I mean,
take her out right then, because it's like, but unfortunately, you know about the child.
Well,
children, technically, but she doesn't know that they're that the two are connected.
Maybe. I figure Reva's smart enough to probably figure it out, but
well, the word children is said, but she specifically saw Luke.
Yes.
With Owen, so
because actually Bale says Owen. That's why there's that connection.
Right, because she met Owen in the first episode.
Yes, and all this whole time, I'm sure probably people are going to say, "Oh, this was too soon, too quick," and blah 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 and whatnot. I don't think it is. I mean, through this whole time, she has been portrayed as someone who's just full of anger. We don't know why.
Yeah.
Up until last episode, we figured out why. Whenever she finally let her guard down just a little bit, and basically Obi-Wan figures out she was a youngling.
Yeah.
At the temple.
And her obsession with Obi-Wan was to get in Vader's blind spot. Kinda.
To a certain point, but I think her thing was to, in the last episode, she makes the comment when she's having that conversation between the door, or on the opposite sides of the door with Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
she's like, I hid amongst the bodies.
Yeah,
to pretending I was dead, and she felt her friends go cold, which that's intense.
Morbid.
Yeah, but it had to do what you do to survive.
Yeah.
But obviously Vader didn't let on to her that he knew who she was.
Until
I figured that until he told her.
Yeah.
By calling her youngling.
Yeah.
Which I figured he would have, I would imagine like a Jedi's presence is kind of like their fingerprint in the Force, per se. To a certain degree, even if you get older or whatever, and it diminishes, you can really, hey, that's Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It may take a little bit to figure it out, like Vader did whenever they were on the Death Star.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon being, smuggling them in, as it were. But I figure Vader instantly recognized her as like, oh, hey, the Inquisitor found this child.
Yeah.
And wants to join. And he's like, oh, I recognize that presence. Okay, all right, we'll see where this goes. And then she tries to rise through the ranks of the Inquisitors to get as close to Vader as possible. And then, I'm glad. I mean, obviously, by storyline wise, it had to have happened some way. I'm glad that she, I guess, found a little bit of redemption, I guess you could say, because and it kind of shows to a certain point that a Jedi who has fallen can be redeemed back to the light. Something that Yoda doesn't believe can happen with Anakin, and after a while Obi-Wan doesn't feel like he can. However, Luke is dead set on it.
Yeah.
And even Padme on her deathbed says there's still good in him.
Yeah.
So it's just, it should be evidence right there that yes, I mean, that doesn't absolve her of everything that she did? Absolutely not.
No.
But she can basically start all over wherever she wants. I mean, she can probably become a little bit more involved with the Underground Railroad. Maybe. I don't know. Or she just can go into hiding.
See, but that makes me really afraid that they're going to skirt around canon and like have her show up in Andor or all the way up in Ahsoka or something like that, and it was just like, I've been here the whole time, you just didn't know about me. Ooh. And I'm like, well, see, that's skirting around canon. It's not breaking canon, but it's skirting around it, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Who knows? I mean, we may even get like a canon comic or something like that deals with her or something like that. We know there's a lot of different options to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that they, they could have easily just had her be killed off and that was the end of it. But I'm glad that they showed that, redemption is there.
Yeah.
For those who choose to go that route.
Yeah.
And I did put a question on here: can she forgive herself for what she's done? And I guess, if she goes into seclusion or whatever, that she's going to be dealing with that. But, anyways, so let's see here. Leia got the holster from Tala.
Yeah.
And she.
Lola just sat right there
Right
in that thing.
Sat perfectly.
Yeah.
And I was surprised
if I sits,
that... I sits. Yes. And that little scene there at the end with Leia wearing the holster.
Yeah, that
and her
was
mom coming in. It's like I had halfway expected her mom was like, take that off. But
yeah,
I'm like, okay. But I think she's at this point she's a little bit more lenient because she's glad to have her back, and then Belle never changed.
Yeah.
And then we got the hello there.
Yes, the hello there.
Hello there. Owen is still kind of like towards Ben.
Yeah.
But it did show a little bit of like I guess a little bit of okay, I'm willing to give a little bit.
Yeah. Give him the toy, say hello, and then go on your merry way.
Yes. And then the last thing, we had the return.
Yeah.
Of Qui-Gon Jinn.
I was so excited.
Which is
I thought it was gonna be stock footage of him just turning around or something.
No, they got
Liam Neeson after he swore up and down. No one's talked to me. I am not in this show. If you hear anything, it's just my voice, and it's probably gonna be recycled. Like they straight up asked Liam Neeson on the day of episode 1 because it's like, Qui-Gon, Master, are you there? So then everyone was like,
"Are we gonna see him?
No. Like they I think it was BBC Radio 1 or 2 or something like that. Were like, "Are you in it? Like, just tell us." And he's like, "No one has talked to me."
I'm sure he had to keep that a secret.
He did keep it a secret, and he kept it a really good secret because it was very unexpected.
Yes.
Still no Mace.
No Mace. Your theory was wrong.
I'm sad. I'm covering myself in Mace Windu shame.
Okay. All right. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right.
There's still other shows for him to pop up in. Andor.
Which I'm thinking, because...
because now... I'm getting really, really, really amped that it's actually going to happen because Samuel L. Jackson came out with a thing saying, "Did you see a body? Like, I'm ready. All they got to do is call me. I still have my lightsaber in my bedroom." Like, they let him keep it. And he actually has his catchphrase from Pulp Fiction etched on it.
Yeah. Well, the initials.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's still active and available.
Yeah.
He could do it. And then they were like talking to Ewan and Hayden to get ready for the show, and they were like, "So what do you think about this?" And Hayden's like, "If Mr. Jackson wants to come back, Mr. Jackson's coming back. No one's going to tell him no." And Ewan's like, "Well, that would be very interesting." And he just starts stroking his goatee, and I'm like, "Oh, it's happening." I don't know if it's an Obi-Wan, but Samuel L. Jackson is coming back as Mace Windu.
Oh, man.
Like, take that to the bank. It's going to happen. Plenty of people have come back with their arms chopped off. They said it was a very long,
Or
high
missing
tower.
their entire lower half.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Mall looking.
Ewan McGregor's response was, it was a very tall tower that he fell out of. But the Emperor returned.
Yes.
Maul returned.
Maul returned.
Interesting. And he just starts stroking his goatee again. I'm like,
yeah.
Yay!
So, we'll see if they pull it off.
I think
they have
Andor
to do
would
it
be a
something.
weird place for him to come back, though.
Do what?
I think Andor would be a weird
Yes.
show for him to come back in, though.
Yeah, I don't think that would fit very well.
I can't think of anything else that's coming out canon-wise where he would be a good fit. Obviously, Mandalorian Season 3. Ahsoka would be odd because there's a lot of people in that already. If it's basically going to be a Rebels Redux.
Or Season 5.
Season 5.
Yeah, of Rebels.
Oh, an animation? Oh, no, you're talking about Ahsoka being Rebels Season 5. Yeah, well...
I know it's supposed to be about her.
Yeah, it's all about her finding, beating Thrawn and finding Ezra, along with Sabine and Hera and and Kanan's kid.
Jason.
So, yeah.
Jason Syndulla.
Yeah.
I figure Hera and Jason would probably be wherever the New Republic is going to be. So I figured they're not. If they do make an appearance, it's probably maybe just in mentioning or something. I don't know. That's
because we haven't gone to Hosnian Prime yet.
Yeah.
I don't think
they're going to move that just yet.
I think it's still in Coruscant, to be honest.
Right now, yes, I'm sure they're going to rebuild on Coruscant. It probably eventually move maybe 10, 20 years down the road because reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't have just one planet. They have to have 5 or whatever.
Yeah. And it's very apparent that Luke is not going to be following the same path as the Heir to the Empire novels that I was talking about, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
They're not going to have him fall to the dark side and have Leia come and redeem him back.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I was talking about sleeping in the Emperor's bedroom.
Oh, no.
At the Imperial Palace. No. That's what I was trying to think of the name of. Imperial Palace.
No. It was definitely him out in the middle of woods somewhere having the temple being built by robot ants.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Ant-Man.
No. Yeah. So, overall,
I really enjoyed the show.
I did. There were some areas that could have used some work, i.e. the chase scene with Leia in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it was just like, they mocked this so weird, it just looks ridiculously cheesy.
Yeah,
obviously
really
there was a branch and you ran into it and then went, oh, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right.
I agree with you on that. The only real storyline ish that I didn't really care for that much, ironically, because when it happened in the show, I loved it. But Freck and the stormtroopers on the back of the transport. The only thing that it served the purpose of was
Ooh, okay, all right.
The only thing that it served the purpose of was Leia finding out that Obi-Wan knew her parents. That's the only thing that actually made...
And giving us a little bit of a reason why... Or giving us something, for Tala to show up.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But,
and Obi-Wan thinking he has a brother out there somewhere.
Yeah. It could also be that... I don't know... Could have been that stereotypical thing. Oh, the country boys are the nicest people you ever meet. God, they'll pick you up on the side of the road and then you see the flag. That's how I saw that going down. I'm like, okay, but
I don't know.
It was a little on. Yeah.
There was that, and then
on
there was
the mole nose. Okay.
And then there was the whole situation with the
he
spice in. I mean, it was smart him making the explosion as a distraction. He still got hand-to-hand combat skills. You know, all that stuff was cool. Most of episode 2, I didn't really care for. I loved Haja Ostri. I'm so glad that Reva,
and the fake Jedi.
Reva and the fifth brother both have those kinds of lightsabers, and neither one of them did the flying thing. So thank goodness for that.
Yes.
I was really afraid.
Oh my gosh.
We have not had fifth brother since the 4th episode.
That's fine. I'm sure he's doing his own thing. That's fine. He can show up in Rebels later.
Well, I'd like to see his reaction to, hey, the Grand Inquisitor's been alive this whole time, and Reva is now.
I'm sure he knew.
Exiled.
I'm sure he knew.
I'm saying like I want to see a continuation
reaction,
of that. Yeah. It's like all the Grand Inquisitor and the other Inquisitors are now searching for a former Inquisitor. Like, that would be the way that I would want them to continue the Reva story. For that purpose. Reva running from the Inquisitors. Because she knows how they think.
Yeah. Maybe. But, don't need to see everything. We can just leave things to imagination.
I agree.
But
I agree 100%.
Overall, I like the series.
Yeah.
Overall, as a general whole, I liked it. I know for those of you who have watched us as we did this from the very beginning, you knew I was very, very skeptical of this.
You're welcome.
And you know, I have to admit, I have turned from the dark side. I have seen. A little bit too dramatic. Okay. Yeah, well. Favorites, I guess, favorite scenes throughout the entire thing. The introduction of Leia was probably one of not in particular order. But yeah, the introduction of Leia.
When it wasn't Leia?
When it wasn't Leia, and she's like, okay, she's either in the she's in the kitchen,
or the woods,
or someplace else.
Yeah,
and then just the woods.
Yeah.
She's either downstairs in the kitchen, in the pantry, or yeah.
So most of my favorite parts have been so you got in part 4 the cutting back and forth between Vader and Ben in the Bacta tank. Loved that sequence was awesome.
And we got more of that this episode and in last episode too.
Yeah,
having that little juxtaposition is like you see this thread going through the entire thing. Almost any interaction between Leia and Obi-Wan was, really good. I don't really know if it's. I mean, it's not good for what people in the show, but brutal Vader in episode 3 just yanking people out of their houses and killing them just non-discriminately just to draw Obi-Wan out.
Yeah.
Why did I write Thrawn? Oh, I know why I wrote Thrawn, because that was a note for myself in the future. Okay. I was like, why did I write Thrawn down here?
Because you started to tell me something and then said, we'll do it after the show, and I had to remind you anyway. Yeah. So you got the Bacta tank, and then you had the Obi-Wan versus Anakin cut-ins, where it was him training as a Padawan with his braid,
his Padawan braid still.
Pre-Clone Wars hair.
Yeah.
And then this fight scene was just epic.
Yeah, this fight scene, Vader v Obi-Wan, this was great. The first time they met on the one planet, it definitely
Mapuzo?
Mapuzo. Vader was in control of that the entire time. Obi-Wan was running scared and confused, and Let's see. I mean, a lot of the stuff. I'm definitely have definitely
watch any of our last 5 episodes, and including this one again. So, it was intense.
Yes, it was intense.
6 episodes flew by, but not as fast as other 6-episode Disney Plus shows have. Like, it's almost, we didn't react to Moon Knight, but Moon Knight's one of those shows because it was 6 episodes and the way they told the story. Blink and you miss it. This one, I'm going to have specific scenes to remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of them for me, and maybe I don't know why this is. I don't know, but it's all the interactions between Obi-Wan and Leia.
Yeah, that was very.
Those
cute.
are all. I mean, some are kind of obviously funny, especially whenever there's like, "You're a Jedi. You look old and beat up."
Yeah.
And then whenever he tries to,
maybe.
Yes, I was getting to that part where I'm your father, grandfather, maybe. What'd you say? Nothing.
And then in episode 3, she was like, "This is my father.
This is my father. We have walked enough."
It became believable at that point.
Yes.
And just watching his
softening up to her.
Well, no, I was going to talk about his physical agility. He went from
yes, someone who was
slow,
beaten down, trodden, and just basically depressed, and dealing with PTSD from his last encounter with Anakin / Vader, to finally getting back to his quote own self, to a certain not to his old self, but his old self.
To the point that the white robe came back.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, tan robe.
Yeah. Well, it's more white now because it doesn't have as much dirt in it yet.
You're not wrong.
He's traveled that Dune Sea quite often, so, I was kind of hoping to see his new house that he has in episode 4.
Would you have rather seen the new house or seen Qui-Gon?
Both.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I'll take Qui-Gon. If they had to choose which scene to cut, I would take Qui-Gon.
Have Qui-Gon at the house, in the new house. That fixes it.
I'm wondering if he brought his little perimeter droid with him, because we only saw him packing the stuff up inside.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope, probably, maybe.
His little perimeter droid was kind of cool.
Yeah. And his Jawa friend was funny. You're going to steal my parts and sell them back to me. Could you at least clean them first, just out of courtesy?
I'm trying to remember, did the Jawa get named?
Yeah, Tika or something like that. Tiva, or something like that. It began with a T.
Yep.
Tiva, I think, or something
Tiva.
like that.
I got it.
Yeah, and
I had to look for the parentheses.
Cleaning is extra charge.
That's what I was saying. I wonder if because I don't remember in Mandalorian season 2 if they named the Jawa that.
No, they did not. They just Peli Motto just said, I used to, just had a relationship with a Jawa.
And then one looks up and she's like, it's not the time.
Okay.
Or I'm working on myself or something like that.
Yeah. I've chatted about what I like. What about you? I don't want to take up the entire spotlight.
Okay, so we got, like I said, the cutting back and forth in the back to tank.
Yeah.
The cut-ins where he's training. The fight from this one. If I had to pick something that was lighthearted, it's probably.
You don't need those. And the gloves too.
Yeah, the gloves too was really cute. Yeah, so Ben fixing Lola.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That was good.
And then Ned B.
Ned B. Yes. the strong silent type in the most literal sense.
I have a K2SO. I have a BB-8. I don't have a C-3PO or R2-D2.
I has a BB-8. I has an R2. I also have R5-D4 somewhere.
Not over here.
Not over here.
You had to choose between R2 and RD.
That's right.
So RD is over there.
Hopefully the studio will expand, and I can put more goodies out.
Yay!
So, anyways,
preferably in a different location.
But yeah, I don't have a K2. I don't have.
I have a K2SO bobblehead. So it's like you're on the base and it's like. So I was like, I liked my K2SO. I have my BB-8. I have an IG-88. I do not have. Oh, what was the name of that droid?
Which
DL1.
Oh,
from Fallen Order. No, not Fallen Order. Good lord, from Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
DL1, the
little round,
the little wheel one with the cone head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have that one, and I don't have
BB1 or whatever.
BD1.
BD1.
BD1. I don't have a BD1. I want one. I really want one of those, and now I want a Ned B, and a Lola.
And a Lola.
I don't know if they're going to come out with Lolas because Lolas seem to be very interactive. I don't know how you make a Funko Pop license. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that technically.
Not sponsored.
That's all we got. Character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that. Because there's no legs.
There is legs. They're just very tiny legs.
Where are their legs?
There were like a couple of them. And then she's just whenever she's not in her complete disc form, she just kind of like sits up. Anyways,
I saw nothing. I thought it just like space saucer.
Anyways, I've heard design is very like I said in like last week's reaction or some one of the past ones. She looks like a little ladybug.
She looks like a ladybug, but you know that she was made to mimic the Disney mouse ears because
yeah.
I made a reference to Lola Bunny and I was like, wait, wrong company. So if you had to narrow it down to not necessarily your favorite scene but your favorite part.
Ooh. It had to. Oh goodness, it's going to be a tie. It's going to be a tie between this episode's episode 6, the finale's rematch.
Yeah.
Between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Yeah.
Because not only, I mean, it's just kind of like a sort of a continuation of their fight on Mustafar.
Yeah.
Their first encounter, it was definitely more of like a scared person running away from a monster, essentially. I think I made mention that it was more like a horror film rather than but that, and because we had that emotional connection, you know, Ben seeing past the mask that he broke to that face. Granted, it was a lot scarred and whatnot, but it was still, and that the way the voice was going back and forth.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah,
they did very well done.
And being that weird, distorted in the middle too.
Yeah, that sounded. I don't want to say anything out of turn, but ironically, when you mix James with Hayden like that, it sounds a lot like Matt Lanter. It really did.
Yes. And I know that they gave him a really good shot at the Kenobi, from Sam Witwer, being.
But he said the wrong part.
But yeah,
he said Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah. But that, and then the redemption of probably Reva when Obi-Wan is talking to her there, whenever she asked, "Did I become him?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, you did not.
This is proof."
Yeah, and they can your friends can rest peacefully because of what you did. Yeah, and yeah. I am glad, as a general sense, probably number 3 on my list. Well, I'm glad we got to see a lot of Alderaan.
Yeah.
It had,
before Kablooey.
Before Kablooey, yes. For those people who are old enough to remember seeing the original 77 edition in theaters, where Alderaan was just a nameless blue planet and just gets kablooied, I bet you they wish they could have had something like this to have that emotional weight. I mean, yes, Leia was, but she didn't really have time to mourn.
Right.
I have a book, and it came out around the 40th anniversary, and it's a collection of short stories that various authors have done, including Will Wheaton and Ashley Eckstein.
Okay.
And it basically takes stories that happen around the main plot of episode 4, New Hope. A lot of it spent time talking about the people in the cantina, which I've found a very dry part of the book.
Yeah.
But as soon as they got past that and into the meat of the story, there's a short story. I don't remember too much about it. It's been a long time since I read the book. There's like a short story about some of the I guess you could say royal court that Leia had with her, and some of the few remaining Alderaanians, just kind of like off of the side, kind of like after the whole pomp and circumstance of like the award ceremony and whatnot.
Yeah,
where they're talking about
where Chewie didn't get a medal.
Yes, where Chewie did not get a medal. Anyways, whatever. That they were talking about, maybe now she will actually take time to, stop having the strong, facade up and just, But
how long is the time jump between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back? I want to say I read somewhere it was 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's probably 3-ish years.
Okay.
Another one of this is off topic there too. Probably my favorite book, my favorite short story, in that obviously takes place after the credits have rolled.
Yeah.
And it is Obi-Wan talking to Yoda.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Via Force Ghost to whatever,
Yeah.
Force call.
That's actually really funny you bring that up.
Boy. But in Yoda, I don't know if this was really something that was within the plan of it, but it was just like within the short story. I don't know if any of it is really canon, but it's just an interesting collection.
Yeah.
But Yoda was really wanting Leia to be the one to be trained by him, not Luke. And that was something that was of contention that he had with Obi-Wan, and she's like, I'm ready for her now. And she's like, no, you're not training Leia, you're training Luke. So that was an interesting little viewpoint on that. But anyways, that's me.
I have a comment about your Force call thing, because that's really funny you bring that up. In preparation for this show...
What's an aluminum falcon? No, sorry.
In preparation for this show, before they obviously found out about Qui-Gon,
yes,
they were like, So what are the chances that Obi-Wan's been talking to anyone? Like, we know that he can communicate through the Force with Yoda, because that's how Yoda finds out about Luke and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, he's kind of really just keeping to himself right now because he doesn't want to, send out a forced phone call. and it ping off of a forced cell tower out in space. Because then the Inquisitors know where I am. So that's the reason why we probably won't see Yoda. Because I can't talk to anyone. I'm completely secluded and all alone, and I don't want to draw any attention to myself.
Yeah, until they get to the whole point. Well, I don't know quite how secure, but in Rebels you see them talking to Yoda considerably, a lot. But they're within the confines of a Jedi temple.
Yeah.
And Yoda being on a secluded swamp mudball planet. Slimy mudhole.
Yeah.
My home this is.
But
mine. But sorry.
But I really thought it was funny that you called it a forced phone call.
Forced phone call. Hello there.
Okay.
I'm not home right now. Please leave your phone call after the sound of the lightsaber.
Okay, so
Obi-Wan, avoiding my call, you must not. Okay, all right, I'm done.
Okay, so I'm not going to be nearly as long-winded. My favorite part is actually from episode 3, and yes, I loved the fight we just had, and it was a great conclusion and all that kind of stuff. Well, not conclusion, but it was a great
continuation.
No.
Addition.
Resolution.
Oh, okay.
It was a great resolution to the conflict.
Yeah.
But I said it multiple times. I think I've said it every episode since. The line that best summarizes this show, or at least this first season, fingers crossed, is, "What have you become? I am what you made me." Like that, and then you take that all the way over to, again, he absolved him of that guilt. So the counterpoint between those two statements is Anakin in the Vader suit trying to reconcile himself with who he is.
Yes.
So it's not just so much Obi-Wan trying to figure out who he is in the context of the Jedi are gone, Order 66, have to hide. Anakin became a Jedi hunter and has to resolve that within himself while still having the memories.
Yes.
If he would have been memory wiped, we would have had a completely different Darth Vader.
Yeah, I don't think that didn't happen because we still have that the anger and stuff.
Right, no, but I'm saying if they would have wiped in another universe, if they rebooted Star Wars and they made one change, and that was wiping Anakin's memory to make him Vader, that would have been a completely different dynamic in that battle.
So kind of like what they for those of you who have played the Knights of the Old Republic game, like what they did with Revan.
I never played Coder, so I don't know.
For those of you who know, my reference. Yeah.
I was like, I didn't play Coder. I've read about Coder, but I've never played it. So,
the remake should be coming out soon. Maybe I don't know if it's slated for this year or next year. I can't remember. They've changed of things around a little bit, but I know that they I mean, and it's supposed to be on the Switch as well too. They're bringing it to everything. It's a rematch.
Is it going to be a PS5 exclusive, or do you think it'll be on PS4?
It's going to be on everything.
Okay, because I was saying if it's going to be a 5 exclusive, I'm out of luck. If it's a 4, I'm buying it the day it drops. Hopefully my wife is not watching this after we get done editing and put it up on YouTube.
That's a future me thing.
You're going to leave it in and be like, Robin, watch this!
No.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay. Anyways. Back on task. Anything else? Or just pretty much.
I was gonna say the task would be conclusion.
Conclusion. Okay, fine. Conclusion. All right.
Unless you have more to say.
I don't really have much else to say.
I'm out.
I am happy that they treated it well. The reason why he left and now he's back
Yeah.
and whatnot. So,
But they left the door open for him to go on other adventures, which is intriguing to me because now it explains he has not been there watching Luke the whole time like we thought. He has been on Tatooine observing,
yes,
but keeping a distance.
But keeping a lot more distance
than he was when we first met him.
Which you see that in Rebels, in the episode Twin Sons.
Yeah.
A little bit. With basically, if I remember right, Ezra is a day older, just one day older than Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that was, yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's got to go hide again, and then we'll see him again when Maul tricks Ezra into finding him. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, your Alec Guinness is showing. That's the whole point. And that's the end of that. So, thank you guys for joining us on this journey. Yeah, that's what it would be, a journey of in the world of Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We see him here in his natural habitat. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I could do Steve Irwin.
Please don't.
Oh boy, look at this one. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He used to be a spry fella.
No, he's angry. He's angry. He got one of them blue laser swords. That turned completely not Australian.
You went pirate with that one. You went Barbosa. You're in a Star Wars story. You best start believing. I'm saying.
I would love to see Jeffrey Rush in Star Wars now.
Ooh. He would have to.
Well, I mean, they got Max von Sydow in it, but I mean, he's seated the whole time. He didn't really do anything.
He could play a really, really old Hondo Anaka in Ahsoka.
Oh, that would be really good.
If they can't get the original guy who voiced him to play him, he would be great.
Oh. What was the name? I'm drawing a blank right now. What was the name of the guy from season 3 and season 4 that like became the new Hondo? He basically looked like a ogre. He had the fangs and he had like horns.
Oh.
It starts with a V, doesn't it?
Oh, Vizago.
Yeah, Vizago.
Yeah.
So, I believe he survived, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see.
Well, he survived the events. We didn't see him in the finale.
I was gonna say, did he survive Thrawn?
I think he did. Yes.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that along with this episode of Kenobi.
I think he did survive the final battle with Thrawn on Lothal, but we don't know what his real fate was after he.
So now you have me wanting to watch Jeffrey Rush as Hondo, and Johnny Depp as Vizago. Tell me that does not sound awesome.
Why is the spicy con? Sorry. Let's just stop it right there. All right. But why is the spicy
con?
Cut.
Goodness. This is going off the rails. My wife's probably going to threaten me with a divorce when she watches this. Good Lord.
Oh. She probably would get that reference, my reference, over any of the others.
Well, I keep telling her, anytime we have like a little like disagreement, like playing around, I'll be like, now you have to remember, the marriage license is not a receipt. There is no returns, and you definitely cannot exchange.
Usually that's something the father says to the son-in-law. You can't trade in for a new model. You're stuck with this one.
No, like seriously, I like not necessarily on a daily basis, but like every other day, I say it as a joke, and like she thinks it's funny, or at least she pretends to laugh. I don't know. Anyways,
any rate, so thank you guys again, ending part 2, for joining us on this journey through Kenobi. Not sure what's going to come up next. But hey, it'll be here. We'll be here. You know, hope that you'll be here as well, just to join us on this. At any rate, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you do not miss any of the videos we post on here. And please, if you are not subscribed, please do so. We're trying to get to 500 at the end of this year. It'd be great. Do your part. Would you like to know more? Wrong series again. That's all right. So until next time, bye-bye and be blessed, everyone.